Welcome to the They Follow from Burners podcast with your host, Raider Ragu. Please download the podcast and follow the show. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Raider Ragu.
Let's go.
Yo, what's up, Raider Nation? What's good? Get on in here. Got a couple things to discuss. A little not so exciting morning after the Super Bowl that was played in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, won by the Kansas City Chiefs, 25-22 in overtime. So let's just start with that, okay? Now the Chiefs have won 4 Super Bowls. So what does that mean to the nation? Man, it's time to get back to work, bro. Like, they didn't pass us up. They got the most Super Bowls in the AFC West. And we was up 3-0. And they ran off 4. So Kansas City not playing, man. This dude Mahomes is serious, bro. It's time to get back to business, Raider Nation. It's time to get back to business, Raiders as an organization. The will to win, the commitment to excellence, the pride in poise, all that, man. The bullies of the block, just the whole persona, man. And with AP, I think we got action at that. But we actually, the results do have to be there. This is a results-oriented thing. But I'm just saying, these dudes got 4 Super Bowls now. Like, Denver wins one before us. They'll have 4. So it's time to get back to, serious business, man. We got to start dealing with number 15 in red and 87, man. All of them dudes, I don't want to beat them without Mahomes, without Coach Reed, without Kelsey, Spagnuolo as the coach on defense, all of that. I want all of them to be there when we beat them. I don't want any excuses later on. Oh, yeah, y'all didn't beat them when they were blah, 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 this and that. So I'm going to leave that at that, man. It's time to get down to business starting this season coming. As of yesterday, that was the end of this past season. The Raiders went 8-9. It's time to get back to more like some, Raider foot that the old-time guys are used to. So the most recent was, we had the hot little 12-4 season with Jack Del Rio, but really, man, it hasn't been since that first Gruden stint / Callahan, to where we play some real Raider foot. And it's time to get back to that, man, and win some championships, man. This is just getting pathetic, man. These dudes got 4 championships. Anyway, a little bit of business. Raiders made a hire in the front office. They brought in a guy named JoJo Wooden and hired him as his title is Director of Player Personnel. Right? So immediately, a lot of us think, well, what does that mean for Champ Kelly? And Champ Kelly is an assistant GM. Telesco is the GM. Now this guy, JoJo Wooden, is the Director of Player Personnel. So looking at this guy's resume, so to speak, looking at what he's done, first of all, he and Tom Telesco's worked together for the last 10 years. They moved the team from San Diego to Los Angeles. They were part of that whole transition with the Chargers. So it's a little bit of Telesco bringing in somebody he's familiar with, somebody he's used to working with. Guy's probably a traveler, probably on the road a lot, scouting college players, potential draft picks. They probably had already taken a look at this year's draft together. You know what I mean? If you think about it, they didn't get ran until very late in the season. I think if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not going to go all back and look and fact check and all that because it's not that important. But I believe the Chargers fired Staley and Telesco with 3 games left. All right, so it was either 3 or 2. So it was 3. JoJo Wooden took over as the interim over there in L.A., by the way, after Telesco got fired. So he stayed and then was the interim. And then for whatever reason, it was over after he left. They didn't hire him. They brought in Harbaugh, you know, that whole story. So he was odd man out. All right, so Telesco and Wooden had already probably started plotting on this draft already. I wouldn't say probably, I would say for sure. They had a way that they was going to attack it. Yeah, they probably weren't looking at the quarterback position, but they know the draft. They broke this draft down together. So I think that was a big reason for the hire as well, for immediate scouting. Probably this draft and the next one. They probably, in on the graduates of 2024 as well already. You know what I mean? So this was one, familiar working with the guy. 2, we already broke down this draft already. And as I got over here, I see perhaps it wasn't that much breaking down of this draft already because Champ was running around doing other things. It was kind of just him after Ziegler got ran. So he brought in an extra guy to be over the pro scouting or the college scouting, the scouting department, period. As an assistant GM, I'm not sure what differentiates the job titles, job duties, right? Looking at JoJo's resume, he's a scout through and through. So if he's coming over there in the scout role, and I'm not sure where that leaves, Champ, what they're doing here. So we'll see. I do like having 3 guys, though, in front of Mark, right? 3 proven guys. This guy's been around a long time. So one thing about the Chargers, they have brought in some decent young players over the years. Some of them didn't pan out, but a lot of them did, though. A lot of them made plays in the league. The Chargers' problem was they never was able to build just a good team. They always had a bunch of good individuals, or they have a good offense and poor defense. I mean, a good defense and a poor offensive attack. Guys dropping balls, guys missing blocks. Running game was kind of suspect with the Chargers. AP's not going to have a suspect running game. We're not going to even worry about that. So JoJo Wooden is in, player personnel. Not sure what that means for Champ. We will keep an eye on that going forward. But having 3 guys is not a bad thing. Okay. So also, I was listening to one of my guys that I mess with in this whole Raider nation, this whole Raider atmosphere of content creation and whatnot. One of the good guys. Shout out to Q. He had the interview with the University of Maryland coach, Michael Loxley, talking about JB, Jacorian Bennett. I call him Jack Bennett. So he was saying, the guy was a baller. It's always kind of a smaller guy. He could have come out the year before we picked him in the fourth round. The Raiders picked him in the fourth round. But he stayed an extra year training as a wideout. So he can, because the year before that, when he could have come out, he had double-digit pass breakups, right? So Coach Loxley got at him like, just think if, all of those or half of those was actual interceptions instead of knockdowns. So he came back and trained as a wide receiver. And then the Raiders drafted him in the fourth round. So one thing he said is the guy's going to get better and better. And I believe that. And he said, he credited his parents because he said the guy, he didn't say this, the Raiders DB coach said this, Justin Simmons, that he takes criticism well, doesn't like going to shell like some players do when you talk, when you get on them. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there. Anybody that's coached foot. No, some players, you yell at them, they go into a shell. Then you got to coach them out of the shell just to get them back to what you was trying to coach them about in the first place. Jacorian Bennett is not like that. He's one of them cats that you can take some coaching. So that was encouraging to see that. So the Chiefs won fourth Super Bowl, man. It's time to wake up and get this monster that is the Raiders back going. And the next time they play Super Bowl in our stadium, because they coming back because it was a success. They'll be back. They're coming back to SoFi here in L.A. in 2 years, right? And they just played there in 20. I mean, not 20, but 21. So they'll be back in Vegas. By that time, bro, the Raiders need to be playing in that game. Or make that even a second one we didn't win to in 2-3 years. But it's time to get back to the champ. Like it's enough is enough, bro. They got 4 Super Bowls. Let's stop playing. And we had JoJo Wooden got hired. Don't know what that means for AP yet. And then we had the Maryland coach talk about Jacorian Bennett. Now, I know I sounded like I was upset about the Chiefs winning, but hey, man, shit, they won. They deserve that. Now, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things I'm upset with, man. First of all, the NFL Honors was a few days ago, right? It was on a Thursday. This is now Sunday night going into Monday morning. Bro, the Raiders got snubbed, all right? And when I say that, I mean Max Crosby, who was up for Defensive Player of the Year. And we could go into a bunch of stats like guys have. He had tremendous stats in all categories. Led the league in a few different things on defense, defensively. Like actually playing snaps in games was one of them. Big. I know he had 90 tackles, which is second. Right? 14 and a half sacks. Right? Not only did he not win, and shout out to Myles Garrett, man. He deserved it. He's a guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything about Myles Garrett winning. Let's get that clear. But I wouldn't have been mad if Myles didn't win and Max did, right? Just like I am not mad at Myles winning and Max not winning. But no first place votes, B.
We'll be right back.
They follow from Burners podcast with Raider Rago.
Brought to you by
Shebang Boutique, where you can get great deals on women's clothing and accessories. All at shebangboutique.com. That's shebangboutique.com.
NFL. What's up with that? You sports writers and whatnot, you people that vote on that. How can a guy not have one first place vote? Right? And I know he wasn't going to win, but it's still, I feel like it's disrespect, bro. Let's be honest, man. Miles had 23, TJ 19, Micah with 5. And I think the DB dude, Bland, from the Cowpokes, I think he had a one first place vote. You tell me Max Crosby couldn't get one first place vote? That shit is a travesty, bro. That's some undertones to it. And we're gonna take that into next season, the Raiders, Maxx, and use that as a little fuel. Right? Yeah, we like they pro athletes. They don't need to be motivated. They should already be motivated. They're getting paid all kind of millions of dollars. Yeah, right. But still, that little extra sometimes is what is needed, especially in a guy like Maxx on a team coached by a guy like Antonio Pierce, a baller who's going to remember snubs, right? Right? So that's going to be a little chip on the shoulder. As a fan, as a content creator for the Raider Nation, I got a chip on my shoulder about that shit. I'm hot about it. It's disrespect. 23 for Miles, 19 for TJ, 5 for Micah. Man, I feel like he should, if not double digits, man, he should have been around 7, 8 first place votes, man, at least, man. More than Micah, man. I'm on the real. I love Micah. He gets after it. But you could run at Micah, man. Let's keep it real. He's a little small. Pass rush, you in trouble. He's a problem. You run at Micah. Seen it. Anyway, man, that I was a little hot at that. And the last thing that I'm going to address before I let y'all go, and this is to fans, you know who you are, Raider content creators or creator, guy with a podcast, right? In the YouTube show, all that, writes articles, all that. The dude is a hater, man. This is to all y'all. So fans in the nation that's been talking this crap that I'm finna say, and you content creators that's been on this. One in particular, bro, I ain't even gonna say no names, but if you guys listen, you know who I'm talking about. And to anybody else that is not in the nation that was talking crap like this. First of all, I've heard talk like, okay, yeah, just because he wears cool jackets and shoes and has a cool car, guys like him and want him to coach. That right there is disrespectful, and that's some other shit when we know what that is too, right? Because in, 40 years of watching this game and hearing commentary surrounding the game, dialogues back and forth, article after article, interview after interview, studio show after studio show. I've never heard a coach shoes, jacket, and car get mentioned in any relationship to a job, getting a head coaching job. Ever. If I got that effed up, somebody comment and show me the link where they talked about another coach, cool jackets, cool car, and shoes when concerning him getting a head coaching job or any coaching job in the National Football League. Send it to me. Because some of you fans or whatever is crying about Harbaugh. Listen, man. And not that the Raiders and Mark Davis would have did anything different, but, man, Harbaugh didn't even want to come here, man. Y'all act like he turned down Harbaugh. Harbaugh wanted to go coach Herbert. Think about that. With basically your whole job security being tied into the QB, why in the heck would you want to go to a team with no QB? Or you can go, same division or whatever. And yeah, you got some work to do, but you got a guy that already threw for 5 Gs before Rookie of the Year and all that. QB, ready to go. The consensus in the league that Justin Herbert is a baller. I mean, to me, Justin Herbert is a good player. I just question his championship pedigree. His tall ass seems to shrink a little bit in big games. I'm just saying. Yeah, man, Harbaugh didn't want to come here. We didn't turn down Harbaugh. And so what if we did, man? This is AP's team. He earned this spot. You guys talking about cars and shoes and jackets and all that, man. He earned the spot. Want to just dismiss this guy because these other guys, Reed and Harbaugh and Peyton, they talking about that Super Bowl Peyton won. Man, that was just because, shout out to my boy Chan. Let's face it. Reggie broke. You didn't coach that up. Reggie Bush did that. That was talent. And then Peyton Manning threw that pick 6 in that Super Bowl, man. I remember that, man. This guy ain't no guru. And then he did an onside kick, and they got it to start the second half of the Super Bowl. And they went down and scored. And they making this dude out like he's some type of guru or some dude that is just like all that coaching. And we popped him twice with Joshua, one of the games, and AP, the other game. We already popped him. Be talking that like we overwhelmed in the division. And they asked AP about this. And he said they tried to put all those coaches, Reed, Harbaugh, Peyton. He's like, man, we already slapped on 2 of them. And as far as all that others is concerned, they need to be worried about us. And I was so glad he said that, man, because that's how he should feel as a coach. And that's what he put down. He demoed that. It's not a feeling. He demoed that. He put 63 in the Chargers back. He beat the Chiefs at home on Christmas. Beat the Donkeys twice. He demoed what he's saying already. He ain't playing. The Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. We was the last team to put tips on them. We beat them with a rookie Q that didn't even complete a pass in the second half. That's how bad we got after them. At their place. Talking about Andy Reid and the Chiefs and their coaches, Spagnuolo and them. Yeah, they got good coaches. They the best. But guess what? We popped them. What, was they not coaching hard? What's the excuse? Right? I'm just saying, cut the bull crap, bro. Stop mentioning my man's shoes, jacket, and car. Talk about him in terms of coaching football. And that's it, man. Hiring your staff and all that. Stop mentioning all that other bullshit, bro, because we know what that is. We know. I ain't going to go on and on about it, man. I ain't going to hold y'all. But cut the bull crap. And as always,
thanks for tuning into today's episode. Please be sure to subscribe, download, and share B. We really appreciate you spending your time with us here at They Follow From Burners podcast with Raider Ragu.
Let's go.